Hi guys, so you might notice my outfit's a little bit different today. That's because today is all about science safety and learning about science tools. We're going to go over all the steps that we need to stay safe during science experiments and all the different tools we're going to use and how to use them safely. So the first step to being safe during science experiments is to wear your science goggles. The goggles need to be all the way on and pressed up, not pulled down like this or on your head. The point of the goggles or the purpose of the goggles is to keep your eyes safe in case anything splashes into them. And I want to wear my lab coat to keep my clothes and skin safe from anything that might stain them or burn them. And I didn't bring my teacher coat today, so I'm going to be having the student one over my shoulders, but this is what it would look like in class. So the first tool that I want to talk about are our giant pinchers. They look like big tweezers, and they are used to pick up small objects or to pick up objects that might stain or hurt your hands. So if you notice, they have little grips here. So to use my pinchers, I put my fingers on the grips, and if I have an item to pick up, I press down and I can pick them up, and then I can look at things more closely, or I might be sorting items. But when I use my pinchers or my tweezers, I absolutely never want to wave things around because you might accidentally throw something that could hurt someone else. And when I'm ready to put something back down, I place it like this. I don't drop it from way in the air because that might hurt you or someone else. My next tool that I want to talk about is my sifter. So if you notice, the sifter has these tiny little mesh holes, and I didn't bring any sand and rocks with me today, but this is going to be used when we talk about rocks. If you were outside and you had collected a bunch of rocks, you would put them in this sifter and you would shake it like this, and all of the tiny little sand pieces would fall out of the bottom and the big rocks would stay. So it's used to separate small pieces from big, larger pieces. I also want to talk about my measuring spoons. So this is a 1/2 tablespoon. And what I want to talk about is how to use this. So if I was measuring out this liquid, I would measure so that it fills all the way to the top. I don't want it half full, and I don't want it overflowing. I want it filled straight to the top, and then I walk carefully with it. This is not used to scoop and dig with things. This is used for measuring exact amounts of things that we need. And you might also see it in cooking and baking because we use it to measure out ingredients. Next, I want to talk about our magnifying glass. So when you use the magnifying glass, you can take your goggles off or put them on your head because you need to place the small part of the magnifying glass to your eye. So the point of the magnifying glass is for you to see small details up close. When you look through a magnifying glass, it makes things bigger. So to use this, I would put it up to my eye, and I would take the object I want to look at, and I would hold it up close. And now the tiny details on this penny, the little writing on this penny is large, and I can read everything. So we will be using this to examine things closely, look at rocks close up, to look at different types of matter up close to see the tiny small details. I have a couple more I want us to look at. The next one I have is the syringe, and the syringe is also used to measure things, and it's used to transfer liquids from one container to another. So here I see it has different numbers on it. Those numbers are the amount in milliliters that you are measuring. So if I wanted to transfer the liquid in this cup to this measuring cup, and I want 10 milliliters, I need to fill the liquid up to this tick mark right here. And to do that, I have to, and it's kind of hard to see. Let's see if we can. There we go. I want to stick the syringe in to the liquid so that the tip of the syringe is in, and then I pull back slowly on this gray part here until it gets to, there we go, it gets to 10 milliliters. And then to empty it back out where it needs to be, I place it in the cup over the container that I want to put the liquid into, and I press back down. The important thing to remember with this is that you absolutely do not point this at yourself or anyone else. You only point this at the container that you are going to be putting the liquid in, because if not, you could make a mess or spray someone else. And I forgot my first rule of safety. I need to have my goggles on. So I also want to look at the eyedropper. The eyedropper is used if you want to transfer small drops of a liquid from one container to the next. So to do this, I stick the end of the eyedropper in the cup and I squeeze down on the black part and I let go. And when I do that, my eyedropper fills up, and then I can drop by squeezing the black dropper one drop at a time. Okay? And my very last tool I want to go over with us today is my funnel. And we talked about using eyedroppers to transfer small amounts of liquid, one drop at a time. We've talked about the syringe when we want to transfer a little bit more liquid at a time. The funnel is used when I want to move all of a liquid from one container to another. So I want to, and I'm going to move these here, I want to move all of the liquid in this red cup into this cup. And I use a funnel because the funnel has just a tiny little opening at the bottom, and so it makes it harder for me to spill the liquid all over the place. So I just pour into the funnel and it goes back into the cup I'd like it to go in. So for all of my liquid tools, my eyedropper, my syringe, and my funnel, the most important rules are you never point it at anyone else, because we absolutely do not want to get anything on our friends or ourselves that could hurt them. And we always empty out the liquid into a cup or bowl or container. We never just spray the liquid all over ourselves or the table. So my question for you to end this video is, I want you to pause the video and take a minute and see if you can name the two most important rules during science experiments. What are the two things I always have to be wearing? And then see if you can remind yourself of what each tool is used for and how to stay safe.